How can I eat healthy meals on repeat? Hey guys, Coach Matt here, and this is an actual question from an audience member. So let's get right into it. This video is going to tell you how to eat healthy on repeat. And what I'm going to do is walk you through exactly how I do it. So what you see here is the end/beginning of my week on Friday. This is my food shopping list, my actual family food shopping list. We have a family of 4. What you can see here is that by the end of the week, the list is pretty full. So it also follows a template. The 5 categories that you see here are always the same. They never change. The foods may change within the categories, right? And the quantities of the said foods may change, whether I need more or less. But in essence, I'm always getting 5 to 6 fruits fresh, and 5 to 6 vegetables fresh, and 5 or so proteins, and all. This is my template, and I have a whole nother video on how to make a food shopping template, but this is what the list looks like. And now I'm going to show you what happens after I've gone food shopping and I move through the list through the week. So typically on Saturday morning is when I do my first batch cook. So now what you see here is I've grayed out all the foods, I only left in white the foods that I'm using on this day from the same exact list. Okay, so now my fridge is full with these foods. And typically on Saturday morning when I'm in the kitchen making breakfast or brunch for the family, at the same time, I'm going to do a batch cook. I'm going to roast a whole chicken and a whole sheet pan of potatoes and broccoli while I'm making the family's eggs. So these 4 foods in white, more or less, are the foods I'm using in that one session in the kitchen. Okay? So now, after that, obviously we don't eat all of that for breakfast. So look what happens next. On Sunday, dinner is just eat and serve, right? So maybe the rest of the day, Saturday and Sunday, we're doing family stuff. We're taking kids to games. Maybe we have whatever, other family obligations. So now I've come home on Sunday night. I don't have to worry. Dinner is already prepped. I don't have to roast the chicken and wait 2 hours for it to finish and then slice it up. It's already done. Okay? So dinner Sunday, nice and easy. Okay? Sports games, no problem. Moving forward, now we get into Monday and I start to add more into the mix. Okay? I start to cook a little more stuff. So I've got, you see a new category here, leftovers. Still have some leftover chicken, broccoli, and potatoes. And I'm going to start to add to that maybe some beef, mushrooms, maybe I'll make a smoothie in the morning like I do most mornings. And maybe I'll add some pasta and the mushrooms to the leftovers to make a dinner with mostly the same food, but different, maybe a little different sauce. And then that's easy. So Monday dinner and lunch is covered largely with the leftovers. The other key I want to mention is that you see I have a lot of frozen vegetables on my list because they're so easy to cook. Heading into Tuesday, now that I've started to deplete some of those leftovers, or most of them, I'm going to probably do my second batch cook on Tuesday, a couple days after the first one. And that's going to include the next protein that I want to pick. In this case, I highlighted the pork, and some more of like maybe the frozen Brussels for dinner. And typically on Tuesday, what I'm doing is taking the fresh vegetables and making myself a salad for Wednesday for lunch, because I go on the road personally, and then extra salad ingredients for my wife and kids who are maybe home, or for dinner, or for whenever, right? So you can see I'm spending one additional session in the kitchen here where I'm cooking multiple things for that meal and for future meals, always, okay? So, and like in this example here, 3 of us eat pork, but 1 doesn't, so I always have that quick cook option available for the 1 person who doesn't want to eat the pork. Okay? So now what you can see is how spending one session in the kitchen, making multiple different meals different ways with lots of leftovers. Wednesday, maybe it's super busy, maybe I get home late. I don't need to cook anything because I've got all these leftovers, right? Got vegetables, roasted pork, still more potatoes because I made 3 pounds on Sunday, still a little more beef, and all this stuff. And you can see also as I move through the week, I highlight different fruits because myself and others in the house are always eating some fruit as snacks throughout the day. Okay? Wednesday, no need to cook if I've done another batch cook on Tuesday. Okay? Thursday, we're getting towards the end of the week. We're almost back at Friday again. So now I'm going to use up whatever fresh vegetables I have left. Maybe I don't need to use the frozen squash. I'll save that for next week. It lasts. Maybe I'll cook steak for dinner Thursday night, and then that leaves leftovers for lunch on Friday and school lunch and so forth. So here on Thursday, just kind of, you can see the list is getting smaller of what's not cooked, and the leftovers are getting, used. Okay? Maybe I make a rice on Thursday night to go with the steak and onions and other leftovers. So that makes the meal very filling. As I said at the bottom here, right, this is going to vary a bit, right, depending on what's ripe, what needs to be cooked, how much we ate, if someone went out or not, but it's all good because basically, as you can see, I'm only cooking for longer periods of time every 2 to 3 times, 3 times a week on average. Okay. Now Friday, I titled this slide "Finish Strong." Why? Well, because I have lots of leftovers. Maybe Friday we have a sports game to go to, so I don't have time to do another whole cook. So I used the quick cook option for dinner. We had some eggs in the morning, and I've got some leftovers to add to the chicken curry, plenty of leftover rice, and leftover steak and onions, and we just have some more fruits for snacks, and we're good. We're good. Now most of our fruit has been eaten. There's not a lot left in the fridge. So my shopping list on the fridge is going to look like on paper what the first slide looked like. And the key to the whole system, as I said below, is that there's always good, healthy food available when you plan and prepare, which begins and ends with your list. Okay? So, planning and preparing. Use a template-based list. Make time to cook. Cook once, eat thrice, not even twice. Okay? Because when good food is available, you're going to eat it. And this is, I'm telling you guys, the number one skill, nutritional skill, behavioral skill for success, for sustained success. Now, if you're a guy who needs step-by-step help with this and you're looking to drop 10 to 15 pounds of fat, build a leaner and stronger body with simple, repeatable routines, set up habits like I just showed you that are my exact habits, but ones that actually fit into your specific life, and finally start waking up with more energy, take control of your life and health, just click the link in my bio and I'll be there to help.